Dodgers fans, gather around because we've got a lot to unpack today. And it's not the kind of news anyone wearing blue and white wanted to hear. All eyes were on Yoshinobu Yamamoto during the highly anticipated Sunday night baseball clash against the Yankees. And let's be honest, it was a night to forget. The Japanese ace, who's been lights out for most of the season, didn't look like himself at all. The command was off. The rhythm was missing, and the Yankees took full advantage, handing the Dodgers a tough 7-3 loss to close out the series. From the very first pitch, it was clear that something wasn't right. Yamamoto struggled to find the strike zone, and even when he did, his pitches just didn't have that usual bite. He lasted only 3 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, walked 3, and allowed 4 earned runs. That's not the kind of line we're used to seeing from him. And for a guy who's been the model of consistency since arriving in LA, this performance definitely raised some eyebrows. Now, let's make one thing clear. There was no sign of physical discomfort. Yamamoto made it a point to shut down any speculation about lingering issues. Just a few days ago, there were concerns after he tweaked his hip during a play at first base in the game against the Guardians. But according to him, that wasn't a factor at all in the outing against New York. He said his condition was fine, no pain, no limitations, and he felt physically ready to go. So if you were thinking the hip issue might have returned, that's off the table. Instead, Yamamoto put the blame squarely on himself. He admitted that he couldn't get into any sort of rhythm and was fighting his own mechanics throughout the game. His splitter wasn't working, his fastball wasn't hitting the spots, and even his curveball didn't have that usual sharp drop. For a pitcher who thrives on precision, missing your targets like that is basically inviting trouble. And the Yankees were more than happy to accept the invitation. It wasn't just about giving up runs. It was about how hard he had to work to get through every at-bat. The pitch count ballooned early, and by the time he was pulled, he was already near 90 pitches. That's way too much for less than 4 innings of work. When you look at Yamamoto's season so far, this one really stands out. Not in a good way. It was his shortest outing and arguably his least effective. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts didn't sugarcoat it either. After the game, he acknowledged that Yamamoto just didn't have it. Roberts pointed out the lack of command across all pitches and said it was clear from the start that the rhythm just wasn't there. He also emphasized that pushing Yamamoto deeper into the game didn't make sense, especially with that kind of workload piling up so quickly. The team decided to pull the plug before things could get worse. What's interesting is how Roberts framed it, not as a major concern, but as a one-off bad day at the office. He made it clear that everyone has off nights, and for Yamamoto, this was just one of those times when nothing seemed to click. But make no mistake, the expectations are sky high when it comes to Yamamoto. That's what happens when you arrive with the kind of reputation he brought from Japan and when you deliver solid outing after solid outing in the big leagues. And let's be real, even the best pitchers in the game have these kinds of starts. What matters now is how he bounces back. The Dodgers are in a tight race, and every start counts. The good news is that there doesn't appear to be anything physically wrong. His stuff is still there. The velocity is fine. The movement is still solid, but when you lose command, especially in the big leagues against a team like the Yankees, you're gonna get punished. It's also worth noting the mental side of it. Yamamoto is still adjusting to life in Major League Baseball. New ballparks, new hitters, new routines, and a different level of scrutiny every time he steps on the mound. Games like this can test your confidence. But if there's one thing we've learned about Yamamoto, it's that he doesn't shy away from accountability. He faced the media after the game, didn't make excuses, and owned up to the performance. That tells you a lot about the kind of player and person he is. While Yamamoto was trying to find his groove, the Dodgers' offense wasn't doing him any favors either. 3 runs isn't nothing, but it's not going to cut it when your starter is struggling and the bullpen has to pick up the slack early. Credit to the Yankees for capitalizing on every mistake, and to their starter Yarborough, who managed to keep the Dodgers lineup quiet enough to never really threaten a comeback. But let's circle back to the big picture. One rough outing isn't the end of the world, especially for a guy with Yamamoto's talent. The key now is what comes next. How does he adjust? Does he go back to the bullpen sessions and iron out the kinks? Does he find that rhythm again and return to form in his next start? That's what everyone in Dodger Nation is going to be watching closely. Because make no mistake, the Dodgers are all in on Yamamoto. He's a cornerstone of this rotation. And performances like the one against the Yankees, while rare, are also reminders that even elite pitchers have to keep evolving. The hitters make adjustments, and pitchers have to do the same. If anyone's up for that challenge, it's Yamamoto. He's shown resilience, he's shown discipline, and he's got the tools to dominate. Sunday night wasn't his night, but with the kind of mindset he has, there's every reason to believe the next one will be. What makes this whole situation even more intriguing is how the Dodgers coaching staff and front office respond moving forward. When a pitcher of Yamamoto's caliber struggles, it forces a deeper evaluation, not just of mechanics or physical health, but also of the mental game and preparation. Baseball is as much a mental sport as it is physical, and sometimes even the smallest disruption can throw off an ace's groove. It's a fine balance between trusting his talent and making the necessary adjustments to bring him back to his peak performance. One thing that stands out about Yamamoto is his willingness to be honest about his struggles. That level of transparency is refreshing, especially in a sport where players often try to downplay poor outings. His acknowledgement that his command was off across all his pitches, from the fastball to the splitter and curveball, shows an awareness that is crucial for any athlete aiming to improve. Understanding what went wrong is the first step toward correcting it, and Yamamoto appears ready to tackle that challenge head on. At 26 years old, Yamamoto is still relatively young, especially in the context of transitioning to Major League Baseball from Japan. He's had incredible success overseas, but the MLB presents an entirely different environment, with relentless travel, different hitters every few days, and constant media scrutiny. All of these factors can contribute to moments like Sunday nights, where even the most talented players face setbacks. The key is how quickly he can adapt and grow from these experiences. The Dodgers' rotation has been one of the strongest in baseball this season, largely thanks to Yamamoto's consistency and dominance. When he's on, he sets the tone for the team and keeps opposing lineups guessing. His ability to mix pitches effectively and maintain pinpoint control makes him a nightmare for hitters. But on nights when that control is absent, like against the Yankees, the flaws become glaring. It's a reminder that baseball is a game of fine margins, where even a slight loss of command can drastically change the outcome. Manager Dave Roberts' approach to handling Yamamoto's rough outing speaks volumes about the team's confidence in him. Instead of rushing him back or pushing him too hard, Roberts chose to pull him after just under 4 innings, recognizing that trying to stretch a struggling pitcher can often do more harm than good. This cautious strategy not only protects Yamamoto's arm, but also signals the team's commitment to long-term success over short-term gains. The bullpen's role becomes critical in situations like these, as they have to absorb the extra innings and keep the game within reach. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, the Yankees' offense capitalized early, and despite some solid relief efforts, the deficit proved too large to overcome. That's a tough pill to swallow, but it also underscores how every pitch and every at-bat matter, especially when your starter isn't at his best. Looking ahead, there's a lot riding on Yamamoto's next start. The Dodgers and their fans will be watching closely to see if he can shake off this performance and return to form. Given his work ethic and talent, there's little doubt he has the tools to do so. What remains to be seen is how he adjusts his approach, whether it's tinkering with mechanics, refining pitch selection, or simply regaining confidence on the mound. Beyond the individual, this moment also tests the Dodgers as a team. Baseball seasons are marathons, not sprints, and setbacks are inevitable. How the team rallies around Yamamoto, supports him, and adapts their strategies will play a big role in their success down the stretch. It's a test of resilience, leadership, and collective focus. The Dodgers have the talent and experience to weather this storm, but they'll need to stay sharp and united. Yamamoto's journey in Major League Baseball is still in its early stages, but moments like these are part of every great player's story. Legends are made not just by dominating games, but by overcoming adversity and returning stronger. The fans in Los Angeles know this well. The city has seen its share of great comebacks and heroic performances. Yamamoto has the potential to join those ranks, but it will require dedication, adjustment, and mental toughness. In the end, this rough outing might just be a catalyst for growth. It's a reminder that even the best need to constantly evolve and adapt in a sport as challenging and competitive as baseball. With the right mindset, a support system, and coaching, Yamamoto can use this experience as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. For now, Dodgers fans can only hope that Sunday's struggles remain an anomaly and that the dominant Yoshinobu Yamamoto we've come to know will return soon. He's shown flashes of brilliance and has the skill set to be one of the game's elite pitchers. This season still holds plenty of promise, and with Yamamoto back on track, the Dodgers' rotation will be even more formidable. As the team moves forward, every start will be crucial, every pitch scrutinized, and every moment on the mound a chance to prove that one bad game doesn't define a player's legacy. Yamamoto's story is far from over, and if Sunday night taught us anything, it's that greatness often requires pushing through the tough times and coming out stronger on the other side. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. A fresh buzz is circulating around Major League Baseball, stirring up quite the speculation among fans and insiders alike. Francisco Lindor, the charismatic star shortstop of the New York Mets, is reportedly at the center of some off-field controversy. That could have intriguing implications for the upcoming season. Sources close to the matter suggest that Lindor may have made some critical remarks about the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team renowned for its dominance and consistent playoff appearances in recent years. While nothing has been officially confirmed, whispers in the baseball community hint that Lindor expressed dissatisfaction with the Dodgers' style of play, or perhaps questioned their championship pedigree during private conversations that somehow leaked. Given the intense rivalry and high stakes of the league, such comments, if true, could ignite a fresh spark of competitive fire between the Mets and Dodgers, adding more drama to an already electrifying MLB landscape. The Dodgers, always a formidable force with their star-studded roster, have been a frequent hurdle for the Mets, who are eager to establish themselves as true contenders. Lindor, known for his passionate play and leadership, would be no stranger to stirring the pot. But the nature and intent behind these alleged remarks remain unclear. Was it a moment of frustration, a strategic mind game, or simply offhand comments? Blown out of proportion, the ambiguity keeps fans on edge, speculating about the potential fallout. This rumor gains even more weight considering the Mets' ambitions to make a deep playoff run. Lindor's vocal stance could signal a new level of confidence, or perhaps a psychological tactic aimed at unsettling their West Coast rivals. Alternatively, it might just be a case of words taken out of context, a common occurrence in the heat of competitive sports. As the baseball world watches closely, social media has already erupted with opinions and debates. Some see Lindor's possible criticism as a bold move, while others warn it could backfire, motivating the Dodgers to respond on the field with even greater intensity. Meanwhile, Mets management has remained tight-lipped, neither confirming nor denying the rumors, leaving room for all sorts of interpretations. If this bubbling story proves true, it could mark a turning point in the Mets-Dodgers rivalry, potentially reshaping the dynamics between two of the MLB's most exciting franchises. Fans are eager to see if Lindor will double down on his comments or if cooler heads will prevail, diffusing the tension before the regular season heats up. For now, it remains a tantalizing possibility. Francisco Lindor, one of the Mets' brightest stars, may have thrown some shade at the Dodgers, setting the stage for a battle that goes beyond just the baseball diamond. Whether this will become the defining narrative of the season or simply another fleeting headline is something only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the rumor mill is working overtime, and baseball fans everywhere are all eyes and ears. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.